Hello, this is part 3.2, episode 4 of the PAL level 19 compendium, detailed theory playing for lines. I will play a few games just for lines to show the main I don't know how to name it, if it's a playstyle. I think a playstyle. Um, basically what to do, what not to do, and uh, and okay, let's do it then the rest. The uh, the main objective of playing for lines is to stack on the right, going on the right and in the middle, maybe like in the middle, like to the fifth and sixth column, and going to the left with the pieces that fit the left. So for example, like I explained an episode before, the O fits the left, so going with it, and we're building on the right, waiting for the good pieces to get them to the left. We're building on the right and waiting for pieces that fit the left to get them only then. In truth, it can be everything about the basics of Power Level 90 playing for lines, but it's not that easy. Everything in true overlaps between playing for lines, playing for Tetrises, and survivors. That's also why I started the whole theory, and I will start the practice part from the clinch, because it can happen all the time, as well as playing for lines can happen all the time when playing for Tetrises, and nothing is in truth that simple. We'll see it in the practical cases of the games. There is, I should admit, one thing I haven't said yet. The board can be clean or simple. I mean clean or messy, and simple or complex. It's very important to keep the board simple. It can be messy. There can be like one line blocked, but if the board is simple, it doesn't have any like the two very good placements to put the piece when there are consequences of the above placement, when you the like like for example right now something for high here, despite everything is very low. It's very important to keep the board simple all the time. It can be messy. A messy board isn't a good board here, because isn't a bad board here, because the time is unlimited. As long as you can survive, as long as you have total control under everything, it's going to be good. So yes, also we can sometimes this going from right to the left um, is a huge simplification, because it may happen everything fits the left very good, and we'll end up building from left to the right. But if these pieces come it's usually going to be even better than the classical right to left stacking. There is also one very important thing to say. If it isn't especially something to say in the playing for Tetris's part, because it's mostly about the playing for lines intro. When the game gives you a Tetris setup and no good option of burning, so it's like really wants you to build a Tetris, usually or almost always it's the best to build for a Tetris, because if you didn't want it but the board is um, really better than in any possible case of having no Tetris setup, it's it's almost always gives good pieces when being Tetris ready to get a Tetris or uh, clean the board, to clear the board, or just get out of any trouble if there are some trouble without any problems. Okay, I think it's all the time putting the pieces in places they fit the best, going slowly, building on the right and going to the left with the pieces that fit the left. I'm already reaching the 100 line mark, and I had totally no problem yet in stacking, maybe one very little. Going slowly to the left pieces that fit the left, and all the rest uh, on the right. Oops, it was a misdrop. On the left and in the middle of the board. As long trying to be as much clean as possible all the time. This is also this placement. It's happening very often. It's very good to put this line on the first column in setups like this. There will be a lot of this in the practical part, I'm sure, because there is only O piece or the T piece can go here, of course, except for a long bar. I mean a long bar T or O while after this there is this, not here, these 2 points make it give a lot of space to burn these inaccessible points are filled. This was what I meant, the situation where when the game gives good pieces to put on the left, so for a moment you're building from left to right, and this is also what I said in the previous episode about going with the L piece in situations like this to the left. This is there's absolutely no problem. In truth, it asks to set up a Tetris in this way, and this is also about what I meant when the game gives you pieces to set up for a Tetris. It very often gives good pieces right after this. This about this kind of stacking when you're playing 4 lines, but looking for it for this kind of very proper setups for Tetrises. There will be the last part of theory and then the last part of the practice about casual game. Casual, I mean, and literally when you're playing 4 lines, but during burning the lines, you're looking for Tetris setups in a very safe way. Also, the same I said it also in the overview, I think. This is the theoretical part, so there's no misdrop and being comfortable with the controller. About these things there will be another different separate episode right after the theoretical things, because they are really worth separated attention. Okay, I will play this game as long as I lose, or up to line, like for 100 more lines. Okay, that's also what I wanted. This is one of the cases when even when playing 4 lines, some bad piece can come. And what to do in this case? The first thing, this is about practice, but it's also about the theoretical. It's also a kind of theoretical thing. The first thing is not to panic. If you have no idea, just put it in the middle of the board, in the place that fits it the best. And then also, it's about more about practice to have the whole dust, everything you want without any panic on the next piece. That In this case, there are three options. I have four options. The first, probably more natural, is to put it here, and it seems to be okay, true, because this and this should be filled without any problems. Another is to put it here, but who would see it and who would like to have it. Another is to put it here. I pretty much don't like it because this point would be empty, while the point behind it is empty, so it's going to probably to create some problems. And to put it here, but also here, but it seems to be very problematic despite probably the most natural. And here, which I think is theoretically the best, but who would see it in the real game. This is also this is a kind of a master move. When you see this all doesn't matter because everything will be okay, there will be a lot of space to open it up. So let's say we played the most natural one and we put it here. Now we're about more in the cleaning stuff, but as I said, everything overlaps, and if it's that small issue, everything should be okay. There is also, while playing for lines, if you're playing for Tetrises on slower speeds, you're um, probably playing in a way when you're building for a Tetris and then you're writing for a long bar. Here you can do the same, for example, by setting up these very controlled small holes, and it's very easy to work around them to wait for the piece which to wait for the pieces which practically must come. For example, this is an example of waiting for specified pieces, the whole. And this is also the same, waiting for the pieces. Okay, it again asks to build up for Tetris. If you're playing for lines, you just burn. If you're not playing for lines, you would put it here probably. So let's put it there here. In case of playing for lines, this should be burned. So we're back. We're playing for lines, so we're trying to open it as fast as possible. We can sacrifice some board because now the board is messy, but it's simple, it isn't complex, you know what to do. Oh, it's very bad RNG. It's totally bad RNG. And this is again the cleaning stuff. Also, what I meant that everything overlaps. Now it's practically game over without a quick tap. So, okay, I think that's everything for now. In the next parts, next episode, the next part will be about playing for Tetrises, then about playing these casual games when everything is to be overlapping, and then overall practice things, and then games. Oh, thanks, bye.